Hey, storytelling right here. I'm gonna work on creating a completely new adventure setting for the Dark Ages for the Little RPG, showing you guys how in the new rulebook that's coming out soon. I'm pretty much done. I just gotta do some reading throughs and proofreads. I'm gonna put it on Amazon as a hardbound. Might get it on drive through. I haven't figured that part out yet. But I'm going to just show you, like, I built out the pagan hex crawl. I call it a hex crawl. Now, in the Dark Ages, we don't actually have a hex map, hex crawl thing. I do actually do that in the APOC, because in the Apostles of the APOC one, because it's literally like a destroyed wasteland of the old Earth, Earth. So you're going around randomly doing hex crawls in an actual hex map. I'm using hex crawl here as sort of a play on of the hex curse that they, the pagan curse crawl, whatever. So it's a play on of the hex that they use in their curses and stuff, which is even in modern pagan witches today use that word hex quite a bit. I'm kind of surprised that it did not come into my vernacular until I heard them start using it again. I'm like, oh wow, they believe in that even today. So that's why I'm doing a For the Lord RPG, is to get us to Christians to do a RPG game, just like the pagans are doing RPGs. So I got my little dice here. I'm going to actually use real dice for this because, because you use dice for this. Okay, so I'm going to do a full-on, in this, you start here at local pagan activity and use a die rank. Now, if you're a beginner, got my coffee. Now, if you're a beginner, you might want to use just a D4 to start with on this first chart. When it says DR, that means die rank, and it's die ranks are D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D12 being the highest, right? So die rank 4 or one die rank, which is a D4, means you start off kind of small, local. But for the fun of it, I'm gonna do a bigger one. I'm gonna use a full D12, and the reason I'm using full D12 is because I'm a goof, and I want to show you how you could do that if you want, and I'm going to challenge myself. I think, though, as a new DM, roll a D4, start with that, and then you move on to the next thing. Okay, so that start small, especially if you're with kids or something. You know what? All right, change my mind. I'm going to do a quick small one, do that, and then I'm going to go back and do the major one. So let me just do a quick small one, I'm going to play with my kids, or I'm going to start with the family, do a one shot with them, or whatever. And you don't know what to do. This is going to give you a guide as to what to do, how to do it. All right, let's just go through and try it. And it's sort of a run through for me as well, because I put this together. I've already put this together, but there's even more now. So let me see if this even works. This is not live, thankfully. I'm recording, so hopefully, we'll see if I can keep it. All right, 3. All right, so the first chart here, I'm just using one die rank, which is a D4. 3, manipulative charlatan act as spiritual leaders. Okay, that's a good start right there, right? A charlatan acting as a spiritual leader. So let's just see how far this goes. All right, pagan motive. Again, I'm using the die rank version of the die. So I'm using just the D4, the first die rank. So let's just say they play and succeed, and they're getting better. The next time I set up a setting, I would use the D6 and I would use the D8. Now, obviously, you could still get low numbers or high numbers. And I'm not saying that that's what you have to do. I'm saying you can do it that way if you want, or you can just decide, I'm going to go with the D6. I'm going to go with the D8 because I want to challenge it, or I want to go D12. I'm going to go full crazy, as my pathway, and see what happens. It's up to you. But for beginner, for beginning DMs especially, or GMs and player, and you have beginning players, constrict yourself to a simpler plot line, simpler thing, and that's a challenge as well. That's a super challenge, really. All right, roll a 2. Just desperate. Might do more if they no other way. Frail. Okay, so this charlatan is desperate. They got it to be a spiritual leader in a desperate, pathetic way, and now they're just clinging to it. So the people are following the spiritual leader, who's like a charlatan, a con man or woman, and playing, going with it. All right, now modus operandi is just giving it more color. Like what is the Charlotte tree? What is the con that we have going on here? So let me roll a d6. This one can be anything. A 1, lust. Okay, so we're not going to use sexual stuff, but I did want to kind of have it as a way of doing it. So these pagans are looking to seduce and exploit anyone who's weak in morals and lure them to their own beautiful idol, pageantry, and pomp. So this con is pageantry and pomp type of thing. It could be like a theatrical type thing, like the theater or local play, or you're going to describe it in a way that this spiritual leader, the charlatan, I mean, we all gurus, right, is getting the village to believe in them in this guru sort of way. Fancy hut, hovel, whatever their lair is. Well, let's find out. Let's roll right here. Their lair. The people love this person. They're beautiful. Maybe it's a woman, and she is selling them on this. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, I'm looking there. Selling them on this thing. Okay, so let's get the location. Oh, it's a die rank, so it means smaller. So the lower numbers are definitely probably close to the town, whereas as you get higher, it's going to be more and more crazy and weirder. 3. Village town hidden within. Okay, so village town hidden within. I would probably just make it overtly in the village. Hidden within as if it's more of a diabolical. I should probably let me change that. Just so it's an option. Obvious or hidden within. So this one's obviously going to be obvious. I mean, it could be like well, I guess back in those days they didn't really have like the prostitute. I was thinking a prostitute house, but that I wouldn't do that anyway because we're family friendly here. But a charlatan who's selling them all on pageantry, on beauty. I don't know exactly what it'd be yet, but we're gonna just keep moving on and just kind of figure that out. Location extrapolation. What the heck is that? Use the DR above for below. Okay. Yeah, I wrote this, but I have no idea what it means. I'm just gonna go with it. All right. So this is also a DR. Established location rating die rank. All right. A 1. Generally small, nomadic, temporary setup, recently situated, disorganized, and chaotic. Supplies and resources lacking with members out and about. Okay. So a setup, but just very temporary, very loose, a shack, I would say, that this person is running and everyone comes by, and it could be like doing a show, but a show of stories that they all learn about. I don't know, something simple, something, what's the challenge here? I don't know yet. I have no idea. Let's move on. Extent rating. I have no idea what that I wrote there. Let me roll a DR die rank. 1. Small temporary setup with just a few open spaces. Okay. What did I do there? I have no idea what this means. Extent rating. I'm just reading through the other ones. It just gives you a little more detail, specifics on the top, on the above. Makes sense to me. Okay. Extent rating. Established location rating. Extent rating. Established location rating. I get that. Location extrapolation. Use the DR above for below. Extent rating. I think what I'm saying at the second one here is a more just the dry, like, what's there? What is it? Because I could have rolled a 4. Entrance hall, ritual rooms, guards, priests, slaves, leaders, workers, support rooms, supplies, treasures. See, I could have rolled that. Then what would generally small, nomadic, temporary setup? So I could have said that it's a small temporary setup, but it has these sort of things there. Entrance hall, ritual rooms, guards, priests, slaves, leaders, workers, support, supplies, all that. So it's the second one there is just to give you more of the first one is the descriptive. The second one is, okay, here's what you want to place down. In the description of the first. So I just, if I can't remember this, I'm not going to expect you to. So I got to make a little better note here. Extent rating. I can obviously open up a line here. What might be there based on location, based on established look. Yeah, what might be there based on established look. Okay, so then you roll. All right, enforcers of the leader. This is another die rank. All right, who's like, are there goons supporting this spiritual leader, this fake spiritual leader? A 1. None, except locals may help do the leader's bidding. Pretty weak. Okay, so we're having a very weak, goofy little thing here. I've rolled a 1 now. Small temporary setup with just a few open spaces. Okay, so like a tent setup, like this person, this hippie, this weirdo set up a tent. Enforcer enhancements. List of items enforcers might have to aid them. Okay, so this one's just a roll. Just a D12. Let me just roll a D12. A D12. Could be anything. 3. D4 dire ranks added to main leader of enforcers. Oh, enforcer enhancements. None. So, D4 dire ranks added to main leaders of enforcers. So, I'm going to say then a local person there has D4 die ranks. Two die ranks in something there, like to be a bodyguard. So it would be a local though, like the smith, the blacksmith maybe is helping that person or whatever. Let's move on. So this is just getting ideas, getting a guide is all you're doing here. Okay, adventure table side quests, optional rumors or pervasive concerns by locals. Pervasiveness of side quests. So we're gonna add some more flavor to this weird little village encounter that the missionaries go to. 3. Locals have lame local requests or fears, seeking payback, extortion, threats on other locals, not realizing or acknowledging any real problems. So the locals fear or hate or extort or threat other locals, not realizing that's a big deal. Okay. Keep that in mind. They like this guru that's there as a spiritual leader. And remember, this guru probably, you could have it where it's literally, the main quest could literally be so minute and minor that it's just sort of humorous. You go deal with this person, convert them, or replace them with the church or whatever, that it's not a big deal. It's sort of an interesting little thing. I don't know. I'm still moving along here. Let's keep going. And then, but the locals also have a sort of vendetta type mentality to themselves, right? They don't like somebody else. Okay, let me just keep going. These are all optional, and these are all just a guide for you to brainstorm. 1, there must be brigands afoot. Okay. Oh, now down. That's this. Oh, you can't see this. I'm sorry. I forget I'm doing this way, and I can't see the little screen there. Okay, so I just did adventure table side quest. Pervasiveness of a side quest means the locals they want to, if they see missionaries, they might ask them to go do something for them, and it's a bad thing. It's a vengeance, it's a whatever. But we'll see. Roll on side quests. Oh, so maybe I should stop there. Pervasive side quests, they have a vendetta. Roll on side quests. Yeah, that's number 4. I'm just trying to, I'm running through this, playtesting. Let me just, I kind of like that I rolled anyway. There must be brigands afoot. Okay, real plot. I'm going to roll this again because I'm working this out in my mind right now about how 2, it is wrong. Something less threatening is occurring. Something less threatening is occurring. Okay. Hold on. Hold that thought. Additional flavor if more is needed. Okay, yeah, more is needed. I need more. 8. Add a traveling troupe, bards and performers, gypsy-like. Okay. I like this. So, we're adding some factions now in this. There's a local guru who doesn't like that there's a traveling troupe coming through, and so he's got the locals thinking that this traveling troupe being a threat to him or her. I haven't figured that out yet. Probably I'm thinking a guy, but just that's just coming to my mind. But this traveling troupe is now being accused of being maybe bandits, brigands, stealing gypsies. You know how gypsies are kind of like that. Are they? Well, it it is wrong, something less threatening is occurring. So it could be that these gypsies are coming through to perform, but they do have petty theft, because that's what they do, just in general. Yes, I'm very stereotypical here. Okay, curse table. Bad things are happening beyond the pagan activity. See table after this one for validating possibilities. Wow, am I confusing or what? Let me just... I wrote all this out, had a train of thought. Don't have that train of thought anymore, so I gotta make sure I can even interpret this. And this is the way it works. I haven't really literally gone through this. You're live on camera, but I'm gonna roll it. 3. Evil forest spirits, gnomes, dwarves, elves are causing a stir in nearby forests. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, ridiculous in the sense of I gotta clarify what all this is. I know I had a train of thought, but I need to see what that really is. This one's definitely could be any one of these. I can tell this is very random. The curse table needs to go somewhere. It needs to come from somewhere. It might be in here. I'm like reading through this right now. I'm gonna pause and go through, see what I've done here, and then I'm gonna come back and so this playtest is getting a little out of whack. But I mean, I still got a storyline that I'm going with, Let me, you know what, just for the fun of it, I'm going to keep going. This one I did evil forest spirits, gnomes, delves are causing a stir in nearby forest. I mean, I could still add that in as part of another train of, thing that the locals bring up. Totally fine. Like, and the troop could be part of that problem. You know what I mean? There could be a whole bunch of different little things like this happening. I'm actually I'm going to clean it up, but I'm kind of still... I would never think of this myself. As a 45-year veteran GM, here we are with a guru in town, a bard troops being accused of banditry, because the locals don't like them, and the guru is telling them so. And then there's also, they believe there's evil forest spirits, gnomes, dwarves, elves are causing a stir in the nearby forest. So what's causing that? You know what I mean? So you could have all these different things happening, thrown at the missionaries, and they're all like, what the heck are we dealing with here? I think that's gonna be that's a fun little thing, and I'm actually kind of enjoying that. But I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more so that you all can it can be explained better. But I'll do that. But it's still like, those are all of that right there thrown at your like kids or your family or your whatever is like, what the heck is going on? All right, possibilities, D6. I do like this. Let me roll this D6. This is sort of a... Watch, you'll see. I do know what this is. I think I know what this is. I rolled a 5. A curse. A residual curse has occurred by a local witch or angry old hag who had no idea it would work or linger, but is too angry, shameful to confess or end it. Ooh. That's a tough one. That's like a higher level one. So there could be an old hag in the forest who has caused a curse, like literally a curse. So that could get real quick, kind of a thing. And we do have to believe in this stuff, curses and stuff, and evil spirits, because of, well, we believe in it. But in the hagiographies I've read of this early period, they had incidents like this. Cursed ghosts. They had ghosts. They had. I mean, we encountered a ghost. They said it matter of factly in the stuff, rather too dryly, to be honest. And how they had to pray and cleanse the area of this spirit or ghost or evil force that was in the area. So a residual curse occurred by a local witch or had no idea it would work linger, but it's too angry. That's interesting because this is a very specific. What I wrote here is a very specific type of thing. I might try to make it a little more vague, so that you can go this. You could do a curse that has occurred here by a witch. Good or evil, but whatever. I'll have to think about that. Let me make it red so that I can remember that. Yeah. Okay, levels. Now, that one there, the curse, original curse is occurred by a local witch that could be the evil force in the evil force spirits. And she's hiding out there. Or hermit living out there. Maybe she's done shameful stuff, like, bad stuff. Shameful, too angry to confess or end it. So she could be use this to keep people away, So this is another side mission that, so she could be savable, but also she could be quite evil, depending on the way the it goes. But she's going to send the evil spirits, are going to attack anyone that goes in. So I would have to create some evil spirits that do damage in a way. They drain vitality, they cause pain, so a real battle. In order to fight them, you have to have holy weapons, which hopefully the characters will have. They can use exorcism, but if they get, they could run away. So they could definitely run away, and that if they did run away, because they don't have anything ready, that would strengthen the pagans in the area, which is a good plot story. That's a good plot story. They'd have to run away. The pagans then come to worship her and she gathers now some goons or some evil, if they fail, if the Christians fail, she will gather some worshipers who will come and say they want to worship this evil force, and then, so, and what if the party dies because they don't have holy, to attack the evil spirits, to get rid of them? That's okay too. Like, they die and then you got to make new characters. They were not prepared. So at the church, I would have the bishop tell these new followers that there has been rumored of evil spirits so we must be prepared for evil spirits. And the way to defeat them is through the holy, the word, and the holy, exorcisms and holy weapons and holy stuff, So that, see, this brainstorming that I'm coming up with is because of all these roles that I'm doing here, and that's what you need as a GM. You need tables, you need roles that put you in these different confining spaces where you start then popping off ideas. Because when you have no guide, you're just like, well, I don't know what to do. I mean, it's just too wide open. You need, little things to make your puzzles work. That's a way to GM. So let me continue. I'm going to go with what I just said there. That's going to be a good little story to do. Levels, thematics, pageantry of paganism, die rank. Okay, so we're going to do the D4 again. This is a thematic thing here. A 1. I keep rolling a 1. Well, whatever. Local luck, spirits, helpers. Okay, so that's what they all believe in, the locals. The guru has luck, gives them luck, and I would say the local guru sells them, pageantry-wise, beautiful trinkets that give them luck, which they don't, but people think they do. And I would even give them a 1 die rank here and there once in a while, because they think that this is their luck thing, And maybe that, I don't know if that would call in an evil spirit. I'm not going to worry about calling. It's all a charlatanry for him. So they all believe in this. They all cling to these things, and they all hate each other's trinkets that they think are better. Yeah. So there's that thing. They all, and they're worried that they're going to get stolen by the brigands, the gypsies or whatever. So they're all sort of addicted to their tokens, right? Tokens. Yeah. All right. Family-friendly pagan activities. All right. This again is another way. I feel like I got enough there, but this is again another way. I'm going to use a D4 again. There should be a D4, a die rank thing here. I know this one's definitely a die rank based. Pagan activity. I don't know if I can fit die rank in there. I'm going to have to do 2 because I can tell there's a lot of, not a lot of space for me to. Okay. Family-friendly pagan activity. Family-friendly. Let me do this way. Pagan, just to make it look kind of neater. No? Does that look? No. I don't like the way that looks. Just let me do this. I'm going to delete it out, make its own thing, and I'm going to kind of fit it here past the column mark like that. That doesn't look so hot. Looks a little too long. Family-friendly pagan activities. Pagan Paganism. Let's go with that. This can be a refinement or clarification of pagan activities. Still violence, but sexual content removed. Still violent options, but sexual content removed. This can help with lessons, debate, arguments in evangelism, and each higher up step includes lower activities. Okay, so I'm going to do the die rank of a D4. 1 again. Wow. Friendly, white magic, healing, and frivolity. So that fits in with what I've done. Okay, more adventure ideas. Oh, this is just crazy random stuff. Do you know what? I'm going all out, so let's do it. This one is very random, I think. No, it gets a little tougher as it goes down. So let me die rank this one as well. Die rank. All right, here we go. 1 again. I do not know how to roll these little. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong die too. I have. Where is the better die? I have a better D4. Where is it? What the heck? Oh, here it is. You know what? I rolled a 1. I'm going to keep it. But I have a really cool D4 that is not a pyramid. It's a, I don't know if you can see this. Like this, the pyramid, and this one is like a kind of a funky thing. Anyway, it's a D4. But I'm going to switch to this one because, yeah, I really don't like these pyramid ones. They're very, I don't think any of us do. They're very dangerous. But I actually have a regular. I rolled a 1 though, so I'm going to keep the 1. Raiders or bandits are terrorizing the local area as they pass through. If too successful, they may just stay. So there it is. Let me see. I think there's more. No, that's it. Okay. That is crazy. You've got a local guru selling luck trinkets. The people are into that. They're jealous of each other's luck trinkets. There's how I'm doing the the local requests that they seeking payback and all that. There must be brigands afoot. There is the troops, the bards out along the road, or coming into town, but they're probably on the outside, right? Doing their performances and all that. And they're trying to they like the trinkets too, I would say, and they're trying to use them as payment to get into the show or see the show, and so or whatever, that kind of a thing. There's rumors of evil spirits, elves, dwarves, in the forest. Nobody goes out there, and there's a witch. Then I'm gonna say there's some raiders or bandits, and small, like traveling through bandits coming through from, let's say, the other side that are more business. And I'm gonna have them just attack the. Would I just have them to attack the missionaries, or just attack some locals, steal their trinkets, and the troubadours know about them. They don't want to leave until those bandits are taken care of. See, so there's a bunch of different things there. The one thing I don't have in there is a beast, but I think there's options there to roll to get a beast, but I just never rolled it up. So that's a great little storyline. I'm gonna pause and go through and reread this and clean it up a little more, and then I'm gonna run through it again. Same type of thing. The witch that does the evil curse thing, you gotta build her out a little bit, as far as like what would she have, what is she, what the evil spirits are, what can they do. But I would keep them very simple, low level, especially if you're starting out, because you want the way to really do how to know how dangerous of things to do against the players. The way to do that as a GM is just start off with weak things, see how that plays out, and then build up slowly over time, with each encounter. So it's just that's the way to do it. It's just you want to give the players and yourself some simple creatures or bandits, like low level local wussy kid bandits, that type of thing. You want to do that first, just for your own sake too, to see how it plays out, before you start adding in tough. Oh, what if I'm going to kill them right off because they're going to a giant demon possessed bear is what I chose to go up against. Don't do that. Don't do hard, difficult things. Don't do things, and especially don't do things that are like very evil, like those spirits. You're going to make them weaker. You want to make them weaker. simple, especially for new players, so that they can run away if they don't have any sort of holy or exorcism type of thing. And they may not, and you shouldn't let them. You shouldn't warn them about that either, like when they're making the character. Okay, all right. Let me pause this, and for you it's just a bit of a cut, but let me pause it, and I'm gonna reread it just to make sure I got everything flowing right, and then we're gonna do it again. I will see you in 2 hours, or just a really quick cut. Oh wow, 2 hours later. I was joking when I said that about the cut being 2 hours later. I thought it'd be a few minutes. It's been 2 hours. I did a lot of changes. I had to go walk the dog, blah blah blah. I had brunch, and then now I'm back. Okay, wow, over 2 hours. Okay, and I did a lot of actual change. I changed a lot of pages around, but I was really going deep into this. So I just, for the GMs, I'm right in the middle of my video. I'm going through this now. I don't care. Just do it the way I do it. Okay, so I try to I did a lot of extra help on helping you create a world, a setting in this game. And this is, this could apply for any RPG, except we Christians got evangelism, church planning. So it caters to that in a sense, and caters to, I do an amalgam of medieval history, and then I try to add a little flavor of, fantasy, dark ages, things like that. I try to add, give that to us, because you and I love RPGs. We love the nostalgic thing that brings into us. So that's what I've added in, and to give you guys more and more things as a guide, like I did in that first roll. I'm gonna do another roll. So I rearranged all these pages and stuff. This beginning part here is to give you the setting of the settlements, and just you can roll and create your little towns. And that may or may not affect the pagan activities. It's up to you to decide that. This here is like a generic breakdown of the pagan activity, and then some stuff on the road you can do. And these are, you can create conversion levels for them. These encounters, they could be in the distance or close. You could decide, 1d6, 1 is close, 6 is off in the distance. You see this, you could go approach them or just move on and go on with the story. It could be at the campsite. And then of course the pagan X crawl is right next. We're going to go through that again, and then local disposition is obviously the finale of this, getting conversion levels for the different groups. And the different groups would be the main villains. Like I would roll 2d8s and pick the lowest. In the middle here, I'd roll d8 and pick average. And if you do have some really good people, and they're good, you can just say they're good, or you can roll 2d8 and pick the highest. These here are just examples, and they kind of tie in with the 1 through 12 of the pagan activity. They're just some examples of my ideas and stuff. They do not come off of the rolls, by the way, because I did these early on, and I just want to keep them there as just stuff you can use if you wanted to. This here explains the villains, the oppressors, the magicians and witches and stuff, and what they can use in powers. I added in magic attacks. So this is like wizards, elemental attack stuff. I decided to do it. Finally put this in here. I don't particularly I do like it. I don't particularly want the missionaries to use this, and as a GM, and I hope the players don't glam onto this, and if that's the right term for it, but I want you to be able to use it as magicians. Like they have these attacks and these things, and these things are all sort of tied in with pageantry and tricks and stuff like that. But if a missionary wants to use one of these, obviously they can, but then people are going to think that they're magicians instead of because the way the West was won was not with the gun. It was won with churches, and it was won with the word. Even the Western West, even Europe, the way it was won was with the word. The way it was won was with the word. Yeah. All right, so let's go back up and roll a new one. Now that first one I did, which I thought was pretty interesting, the local guru selling his trinkets. Everyone's jealous of each other's trinkets. The gypsies outside of town. There's even some small bandits outside of town on the other side, I would say. Then there's a haggard old witch with her curses in the forest that is causing these sort of elf evil spirit accounts. Pretty cool. I think that was a pretty cool little setup. And then you make your village, and you would go back up to this little town here and create your little village or settlement. And like this here, if it's a big town, which on my map they're not necessarily big, but this would be like a section of the town where they would go into and interact in this specific area. And you could roll this out. and decide like what's the activity of the area. So let's just roll it out for the fun of it. Okay, so here, activity nearby up to a D12. So I could do a D4, but this is based on, okay, add nature of the village activity and what is more readily accessible. Roll based on a die rank comparison to the missionaries and the size of the location. So the size of the location is kind of what it, is it a village? Is it a D4 or D6? Is it a town? Is it a city? So I would go with a D6 because the village would be a D4 or D6. And a village would be, oh, let's say remote, right? Okay, let's just say it's really remote. Let's roll with a D4. 3, farming livestock. So the primary thing that they do there is farming livestock, and that probably supports the town near, which is over there, you know. But they're farming livestock. What they're doing? What if I rolled a 1? Banditry, criminal, slavery. Yee. How would I do that? Especially when I rolled a 1, like in the I would do more of like slavery. They deal in slavery. I should probably make it like that. They'll have small things like hunting, fishing, farming, mining, milling, but their focus is on slavery. Let me put down little like slavery. Minor operations 2 through 5. Possible criminal inclined. So slavery, minor operations 2 to 5, minor operations of 2 through 5. Of 2 through 5. And criminal inclined. So the slavery, minor operations of 2 through 5. So one of these, hunting, fishing, trapping, you know, I should do a reroll. Let me do, I know what. Sorry, now I'm already re-editing. This is fun. Trust me. What am I doing here? Minor reroll. I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Roll D6 as flavor. 1 again is more intense. Is one if 1 there if 1 slave major slave operation, major slave business, and criminally inclined. Criminal. Okay. So, what does this mean? Okay. Activity nearby in this area. So if you roll a 1, it's slavery. What does that mean? They have a lot of slaves. They also have hunting. You can re-roll a D6. They also have hunting, farming, mining, trading, or smithing. But they have being the focus here is being a lot of slaves, slave work, right? So, but it also means that they have the other things available. If you roll a 1 and roll a 1 again, it's hardcore slavery. Auctions, just terrible, criminally inclined, oppressive, and so on. So they're focused on slavery. Now, the vast majority, I wonder if I should do, maybe that shouldn't be 1 though. I should probably put that, I'm going to move that up. Let me move that up. That's, I'm going to put it above 6. I feel like we shouldn't throw that on too quickly. A little, okay, I know what I'm going to do. A little bit of 1 through 6. Self-sustaining area. Okay, sorry. I was going to go right into the adventure stuff, and now I've seen this And this is kind of why I'm doing this, is that it kind of helps me see what the heck's going on here. Okay, I am something wrong with this. This just needs to be attached to. Okay, I think I've added an extra one there, so I need to. And the problem also is that I actually want to have one more thing in there, which is criminal activity. But criminal activity may be its own little given, which maybe I don't need to put in there. Well, roll d6 for flavor. If sorry, I really want for flavor, but slavery. No, I don't even need to. Okay. Auctions, criminal, enforcement. Enforcement, oppressive. We'll just do that way. So they have a chance then. Oh, there's 13 choices here. I guess I'm gonna have to take out number 1 then. Because, yeah, I think so. Because slavery auction can be part of a small village. So I'm gonna go with that. Now this is the main focus. That doesn't mean other things can't be there. I need to make sure I kind of make that point as well about this section here, about figuring out what the town is focused on. Add to the nature of village activity what is more readily accessible. Roll based on a direct comparison to the missionaries and the site's location. Can also be used for pagan activities. What they may be focused on building, targeting, stealing, or using. A village would be a D4. Okay, a traveling merchant will be a D10. A 1 result making this merchant quite a dire one. I'm going to add in that this. I'm going to squeeze this in a little and say that other activities may be will be present, but the focus is this. Okay, so there's that. So you can roll on these and just sort of give a flavor to the what's in the main areas. How you want to do it. Obviously, they're going to have other businesses as well. And here's the cost of things. And the reason I did it this way, where you can kind of decide the cost of things, is because I don't like looking. What I don't want to do is for players to look at a list and see the prices on there and then decide what the cost of the thing is, when you should have them role play it out and search for things. I will admit, though, that in gameplay that is kind of boring for their other players because it takes a while for one individual to decide and pick things, but it's part of role playing and it is fun. I think players and GMs need to both understand how to expedite that, like really be self-prepared in what you want and even present it before to the GM or GMs. You could kind of explain this as well. Everyone figure out what they want before we move on, and then let's role play pretty quickly. Let's move it along. Let's try to encourage them move along to the storyline and especially not have players think while they're on their turn. They should be thinking about what they want and doing on other people's turns, and then when it's their turn, they should be ready. I need to get that across to the players. It's not about thinking on your turn. Okay. Village stuff, more village stuff. So let's go back down. All right, I'm gonna roll. I gotta get to the rolling. It's kind of fun and exciting. All right, let's start with a new pagan activity, but this time I'm gonna go with the D12, full 12. I want to use the red die, a little scarier. Actually, I'm gonna sip of water here. The gray die reminds me of the sci-fi. Let me get my little D8 out in case I need it. That's a D10. I guess I'll kick a D10 as well. I got all the die ranks here. Yep. D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. Okay. I'm going to do D12 because I'm just going to go crazy wacko. Who knows what I'll get. So we start here at the bottom left. 2. What a wussy. Criminal group posing as demonic or superstitious activity. That's still you know, it's funny. It's like, is that weak? Is that weaker than manipulative charlatan act as spiritual leaders? Well, to me, a criminal group is, let me do criminal group posing as demonic or superstitious activity. Whatever. It just makes it more adventurous. Okay. But this criminal group doesn't necessarily mean violent. All right, let's roll a D12 then for pagan motive. See, now this only goes to 8, but that's what I mean. It could be, as you get more and more intense in something, there's more and more chances of them being intense. 4. Finding riches seeks influence. Has coin, may devolve into devious payouts for bad apples, and may hide behind paid goons. I mean, so that makes sense. They're demonic or superstitious activity. So let's find out what's going on there. All right, modus operandi is a D6. And I'm right here, the modus operandi. 4. Wow, I keep rolling 4s. All right, it was a 2, 4, 4. Okay. Greed. Well, there you go. Coin treasures are the goal. Stealing, taking from locals. They want riches through criminal activity. It could be a con or through intimidation and force. A little bit of all of that. All right. D12. Location of their place. 3. Wow, keep rolling low. Village, town, obvious or hidden within. Okay, well, that's easy enough. Location extrapolation. So what this means is it's just giving you a description of the what the location looks like. There's 2 different settings here. So let me roll a D12. Even though there's only 6 there, you still roll a D12 and you just pick the highest. 5. Established for some time having distinct sections, support workers. That's fine. Workers, ritual sites, regular worshipers, and visitors. So they got some demonic, or superstitious stuff in a temple. Everyone goes to, has to pay up, or they get attacked at night, kind of a thing. Extortion. Everyone goes, does it. Let me roll the bottom one now. 8. So they enhance. Okay, so this is like they got a dungeon. They got it all set up. Let me roll a D6. 3. Dungeon. Walls, guarded tower, entrance, hall, rituals and shrines, guards, priests, slaves, leaders, zealots, support, supplies, simple dungeon or crypt. Dungeon. This is like, this is all out, by the way. I'm doing it all out. So this is turning into an all out. This is turning it all out already. It's a criminal group posing as demonic or superstitious activity. So there is no demon or god. Or black magic or whatever. It's just criminal. But anyway, let's move on. Enforcers of the leader. So this is basically the goons. What they look like. Okay, here we go. D12. 11. Tough warriors, skilled with names and unique abilities. Ooh. So it is a crew of like NPCs that I have to now build out that are going to be, they're going to have die ranks into hit. They're going to have die ranks into damage. They have die ranks into armor. And they're going to be only a few. It's not going to be like an army or anything. So these few guys are going to run this whole operation. Maybe they have a witch woman, probably like a dancer or some, well, it's greed, so I'm not going to use lust, as the thing, greed. So it's just going to be some scary looking, tough, whatever. But let's move on because there's more. Enforcer enhancements, D12. 11. Wow, I'm getting high now. Richly garb and trinkets. Add D6 DRs for social. Interesting. Oh, so they really have got the locals, especially the leaders, on their side, right? There's a grift going on and a payout, I would say. But they're rich, so they really appeal to the rich. Okay, let's do some flavor, side quests and flavor. I clean this up a little bit better, so I combine some stuff. So let's do a D12. 4. There must be brigands afoot. Okay, so this is rumors in the town. Has nothing to do with the big pagan activity. It's another thing. Real plot, D6. 2. It's true, but not close by, so easily avoidable. So there's that. So you can have some bandits out somewhere. You can easily avoid them. You only even encounter them if you actually go and look for them in certain areas along the roads or whatever. Like you could literally, I would have them go out to a village, a farmer, and they go, "Nope, no bandits here. Although I've heard of them over in the next valley over." So you literally, are they going to go out there or just leave it? It doesn't. It could. It's a false alarm basically, but they could go out and encounter them if they decided to go out that way. So that's a legit, interesting side track, side quest, side adventure that could occur. And I would just keep them as simple bandits on the road that are just trying to get stuff and attack and steal from people. And I would just give them a conversion level, probably 2d8, pick the lowest, and then that's where they're at. Additional flavor, d12. Let's do it. 6. Add a unique land feature with a pagan altar overlooking or within a small group tends to the altar. Interesting. See, so you could have something that they just go to. There's a pagans there to tend it. Is it a part of the main thing? I don't think so. Like the main people that make their money in the town, because they're in the town, don't care about these rustic pagans out there with their little pagan altar. A small group tends to the altar. So, and then again, you can roll the conversion level on them, and I would do like an average, because they're not necessarily evil. They could be violent and evil, so that you would know then if you rolled like a 1 for the conversion level that they would be kind of a animal totem with animal warriors, and they expect if you come by, you have got to give them a big sacrifice. Or if it's like an 8, it could literally be like a philosopher, or at a poetry reading kind of place where they all read spiritual poems, and they're just looking for love and hope, and they don't have it and they don't know why, until someone comes along and tells them why. Okay, so it could be like that. Cursed table, let's do it. 4. Now again, these are all optional, but I'm going full blown here. Swarm of insects are a nuisance and causing disease or damage to food supply. That could be in town. That could be like they're having an issue. What's causing it? I don't know. But there could be like a little plague of infestation or something. Let's see what this is. Let me see if these curses are kind of given a sort of solid as far as like what do you do with them or not. Okay, let me roll a d6 on the next chart. Possibility. I think the possibilities means what these really mean. 3. Caused by mischief, mayhem, maligning. Okay, so someone is luring the swarm of insects into the person's crops or storage farm or whatever, and causing the problem. And that's something to be discovered, and that would be a simple small side adventure you could do. I would just think of something simple like maybe they place honey in there and then it attracts them, and then they eat the honey and then they eat everything else. Maybe you could find that kind of clue or thing. It's mischief, mayhem, or maligning. So I don't think it's part of the main activity. I think it's just 2 local businesses, and you could obviously, if you roll for the town up here, you can kind of pick 2 businesses and do it accordingly that way. So that's a fun little side thing. It could be like because if they're cursed by these swarm of insects, could your God protect me from these swarm of insects, that kind of thing. Like they could go to the missionaries and literally claim we need help, kind of thing. And I went to the another thing I need to do, I haven't done here, but I need to go to the worshippers of Bacchus to help. I need to get some of the naming conventions of sort of stuff back then, and then make up some naming conventions so that you can come up with pagan evil spirits, gods, just the naming conventions of them, so that you can throw, because you need names like over here, Hecate, ancient goddess before, Hulda is German, Diana is Greek Roman, and ancient Teuton, Germanic occult. So these are actual things I read somewhere in my readings. Hexa is German witch, Striga and Strixa Ostrogothic witches or demonic. Stroiga is Slavic, Maga are Latin witches. So these are just terms that they're kind of cool, neat terms to use for pagans. That maybe the greedy criminal activity puts up statues of Hulda, the goddess, as the one you got to worship, and I've given to Hulda, but all of my crops are destroyed. I don't know why. Maybe your God can save them, and I will, give an offering to your God. So there's that, right? And the missionaries have to be like, are they going to act like the other pagans in there and do it and then get the offering from him? And then he's just going to treat Jesus and the church as just a pagan thing. Which, see, that's a true thing that happened in church histories, where they would go around and the pagans would just treat the Jesus and God and the church as a pagan thing. Like, well, if I'm going to give to Hulda, I might as well give to your God, and let's see which one will help me out. That is a true thing that happened in that that the monks were sort of whining and complaining about is that even though they went into an area and converted it, everyone treated the faith like just another pagan thing where they just did offerings, and they still did offerings to their pagan things. There was this like don't put your eggs all in one basket was sort of a thing that an idiom they all said about the different religions, including Christianity. So, and that's something that your players got to deal with. So that's adding flavor. It's adding these different little elements of flavor. Even though there's that big scary criminal organization doing their thing, there's all these other little things that'll come into play as well. Levels, thematics, pageantry of paganism. Okay, what this means, I guess I should explain this to you. Levels, thematics. What this is like descriptive tones of the area. Levels, thematics. Okay, descriptive. Just better wording. Descriptive tone for the area. Descriptive. I don't know if that makes sense. Descriptive tone. Descriptive theme for of paganism in area. It's descriptive themes of, okay, something, I hope that makes sense. Descriptive themes of paganism in area. Area. Okay, let me roll. This is going to tie in with everything. Nature, crops, trees. Ugh, boring. Okay, so nature, crops. Well, if they're doing Hulda or Pan, they can do forest type spirits, nature, crops. So everyone's focused on their crops, obviously. The criminal element, basically, if you got to give to us, or we're gonna, your crops will get ruined, burned, and then some minor person does the disease thing, or the swarm of insects. But the major crops, the criminal guys will go out and burn them or poison them. Maybe they got a poison that they use on the crops, and they have to. Everything there is focused on nature, crops, and trees. They have trees in their imagery of their goddess. Like I would use a tree, like a dryad. A dryad is their sort of dryads in these trees, carvings, totems in their temple that they got to go give offerings to. So that gives you the flavor of what it would look like. Okay, this now family-friendly paganism DR. This can be a refinement or clarification of pagan activities. Still violent options, but sexual content removed. This can help with lessons, debate, arguments, and evangelism. And each higher step includes the lower activities. So let me roll a d12. 7. Ruining others' crops. There you go. Property, wealth via potions, rituals, curses, vandalism, criminal activity, and/or fear creates a culture of high stakes criminality. The prosperity of clans or houses without a foundational charity will breed strife. Since there's no forgiveness, the cycle of vengeance will be for generations and pervasive. So there's your setting. A couple of different farming houses. Gotta answer this phone call. I'll be right back. Okay, wow, many distractions today. Sorry. Hours later again. I know for you it's just a cut. For me, it's like hours. Anyway, we're on to family. I think I cut the last one pretty quickly. I think we're on a family-friendly paganism. So the last thing I recall talking about was nature, crops, trees. This is what was selected for the criminal element. So let's, or did I? Oh no, I did do that. That's right. Ruining other crops. Okay, I did do that. Okay, I'm remembering a bit here now about this, and then that's gonna sort of help describe what the criminal activity is all about that you can work on. You, me, whoever's doing this. I think that's it. So we've got our plot. We've got our thing going on here. We've got our little. What did I roll for extra? Oh yeah, some small job or incident. What is the infestation purposely done on someone's swarm of insects, or nuisance causing disease or damage to food supply. So that definitely ties in with the nature and crops, and then the ruining other crops and properties. So there's all this like this. I kind of wonder if you could do a setting where all the there's a plague in the land. Everything is destroyed, and then you realize it's everyone just attacking each other's crops, and it's not even, God didn't even do this. If the gods are angry at us, we must appease Hulda, the forest witch, and her, so there's that, man. All right, I know this is a long video. I'm just going to end it here because, man, I had a very the busy day today, distracted doing things. Okay, so that's how you come up with stories and ideas for this. And you should also feel free to add in your own things. Add in a creature, a monster, a dungeon, nearby as well. You can. These are like cool sort of story elements. But you also, what else do you want to see as a GM? You most definitely want to put in things that are exciting on this level of factions. Having this type of thing really gives you the sense of a story for them to really go around in. But don't underestimate the simplicity of a nearby cave or dungeon with also like just a monster in it that they can go fight, type of thing. So definitely have those sort of things in there as well, that they can have those options too. When you lay out your battle map or your town map or your local neighborhood map, you do want to add in those kind of things as well. And those you can just come up with as simple takes off of this, or just add them in for yourself as rumors that will come up as well with the local people. So yeah, and then of course you can roll. Here is just the animal version of that down here at the beginning of the creature, the bestiary section, and then an even more extrapolated one is way down here under at the end here, where I've built up you making a catacombs or dungeon crawl experience, and that should be here. And you have all sort of the categories of beasts that I've put in villains, and just a 1d20 random, and you can put a main table and a plot thickens table if you want to separate it out even more. Like main table is sort of the lower level, and then the plot thickens is you adding on even tougher things. So you could use that too for your own edification or guide into creating maybe something else, even separate from all those little interesting plots that you could have, little a cave or an old ruin or a dungeon or something. And you can even use the back here at the pagan activity, there's a location thing. You can even use that as a possible location for the creature or monster if you wanted to have some fun little separate adventure. This thing here, location source for where they might be. And obviously the encampment would be, if it was a beast, it would be a migratory type of thing that's staying somewhere locally until it eats everything in sight and then moves on. All right, so I'm trying to make a few more videos specifically about creating your own adventures in this for the Lore RPG and how you can do it. And I'm assuming that some of you, or I'm hoping, I guess, for my own stupidity and narrow-mindedness and contentiousness, I've narrowed my market to a very, very tiny little place over here somewhere of Christian RPGers, and even those that are willing to give up all of their, or want to, or need to, or see the writing on the wall about giving up their other, our favorite other RPGs that we have, and doing a Christian only one, or one where you actually play as a Christian, as an evangelist. So anyway, I guess that's my market, and then my market is then to Christians who maybe don't play RPGs and are curious about this for their kids or for their whatever. So that's why I'm trying to build up a sort of videos and content to just let you peruse and listen to, and while you're working out or doing your bicycle or whatever. Anyway, all right, yeah. So that's it. Just another how to create a pagan expo, another adventure, GM prep type of thing. All right, game of life. Roll holy dice.